Hey y'all, Jeff from Copa Wine Bar here with a quick little wine lesson, little wine tip, if you will. And today we're going to talk about vintage and how important is vintage. And what is vintage? Vintage is strictly the year that the grapes were grown to make that particular wine. So if the grapes were grown, so for instance, this is a Sauvignon Blanc from Bordeaux, and the vintage is 2020. And believe it or not, some good things came out of 2020. I know it's kind of a dark time, but some great things came out of it. Like this beautiful Sauvignon Blanc from Chateau Roquefort in Bordeaux. And the grapes, so the vintage on the bottle is 2020. That means that all the grapes they used to make this wine came from that 2020 growing season. Now, a lot of people are concerned about what is a good vintage and what is a bad vintage. A good vintage is when all the growing conditions happen just right to produce grapes of superior quality at the end of the growing season. In the spring, when did bud break happen? Was it early, was it late? The earlier, the better in some instances, and I'll explain that in a moment too. But the earlier the better the bud break, so that they get as maximum hang time as possible. And hang time is how long do the grapes stay on the vine? Because the longer they can stay on that vine, the more complexity they're going to get, the acids develop better, everything just kind of falls into more harmony. If, let's say, they get an early bud break, they're all happy, the little buds are blooming, and every one of those buds is going to become a grape. And then a hailstorm hits, and that ice comes down, starts beating the heck out of those buds. They start falling off, but not all of them. Some of them are still on that. They didn't hit them all. Well, those are going to become grapes. But then 2 or 3 weeks later, some new buds are going to come out on those same bunches to make up for the ones that got knocked off. So now you've got grapes from 3 weeks ahead of some of the other grapes on the same vine. Well, you can't just throw the whole thing into the hopper at the end of the growing season when you've got some really green acidic grapes that didn't ripen in time. But then you've got these other grapes, the ones that survived the hail, and they're beautiful, perfect. So what do? Well, if it's an inexpensive brand, they throw them all in the hopper and just let the cards fall where they may. But a grape producer, and the ones that earn those high dollars, they will hand pick those good grapes off and chuck the green ones and ensure the best quality possible. So that's one instance. It could be too hot one year. We know that about Texas. Maybe they don't get the right temperatures at night. All these things can either make or break a good vintage. So that's all that vintage means, is how were the growing conditions for the grape that year. So that's what's going to tell you what's a good year or not. There's a lot of bad information about how to judge a vintage, and the one I hear the most is, well, don't buy grape or wines made in odd years. Well, that just doesn't make any sense at all, because every year is different. And so get to know your wine merchants, get to know your wine sellers, your servers, and get to know Copa, because I don't put wines from bad vintages on my list unless the producer that year took exceptional precautions to make sure that the wine they produce in a poor vintage are the best they can possibly be. And that's the years I find my winemakers, is the challenging years. Anybody can make a good wine out of a good vintage. I find my winemakers in the ones that make a good wine out of a poor vintage, and it's out there. So just, if it's on my list, I've given it the Pepsi Challenge, the taste test. It has passed muster, and there's a reason it's on my list. So don't worry too much about vintage. Just worry about your relationships with your wine people. All right, that's all I got for today. Y'all have a good one. come on down. We'll talk more about vintage. Thanks.